Hey guys, today I wanted to do a quick update on the GM tailgate recall issue. About 3 months ago, I did a video on the initial recall, and I'll put a card up above if you didn't catch that. But basically, the recall covers 2020 to 2024 GM HD trucks. And the recall is basically that the tailgate here can open on its own due to water intrusion getting into the electronic tailgate release there. The list of trucks impacted, it's grown to over 800,000 trucks. And as far as I can tell, it's still mainly the HD trucks, at least here in the US. But then oddly, the half tons, the 1500s, are also impacted in Canada. More on that later. But I got a ton of comments in that previous video, which I'll cover shortly. So thank you, by the way, for all those comments, because I know I learned a lot personally and it helps everyone out. But the good news is, as of today, there is a fix issued by GM, and that customer satisfaction program number is N as in November 232426401. And it's my understanding that this recall and the actual parts available will be made very soon to dealers, rolling out. It'll be going live, meaning that you can actually take your truck to the dealer and get this problem fixed once and for all. Again, this remedy is for select trucks in the 2020 to 2024 model year. It's the HD trucks from GM, so that's the 2500 and 3500 series, but also in Canada, the half-ton trucks. Now, many half-ton truck owners commented in my previous video that they have firsthand experienced this issue where the tailgate opens on its own in their half-ton truck owners. I don't know if those viewers were in Canada or the USA, but as far as I can tell, the USA half-ton trucks are not part of this specific recall. I mean, maybe there'll be another recall eventually for half-ton trucks in the USA, but this recall appears to be just for the HD trucks in the USA and then also the half-ton trucks in Canada. But it's my understanding that this new fix includes an updated exterior tailgate switch right here that solves the water intrusion problem, or rather the short circuitry problem, so that water can no longer short circuit that exterior tailgate release switch, causing it to open on its own. And so this new tailgate exterior release switch assembly, it has to be installed by your GM dealer. They're not just going to send you a new switch in the mail. So you have to do this at the dealer, but they're going to replace basically the old defective switch with the new switch assembly, and it's supposed to solve the problem altogether. Now, I had a lot of viewers comment in my previous video that they actually took their trucks into their GM dealers to have the switch fixed, only to get the truck back and discover that the dealer had just disconnected that exterior tailgate switch. And that was basically a temporary solution or fix until the parts became available, but it wasn't communicated to the customer that that's what the dealer would be doing. And so I mentioned that as if you're going to be taking your truck to your GM dealer to have this fix implemented, make sure you ask the dealer what the fix involves. You know, is it just disconnecting temporarily the switch as a temporary fix, kind of a band-aid? Or is it actually replacing the switch with this new and updated revised switch the GM has provided? So definitely check with your dealer ahead of time so that you don't get your truck back and you're surprised to not have access to that exterior switch altogether. I know for me personally, I would rather have access to these buttons on the outside, even if there's the potential for the tailgate to open on its own, than to have them completely disconnected if I had to choose between one or the other. So definitely check with your dealer ahead of time just so that your expectations are set properly. Now, I'll include a link below to GM's official recall checking website where you can enter your VIN and see if your truck is one of the ones impacted, along with the customer satisfaction number for reference. But I also wanted to talk more about the problem that this recall specifically addresses, you know, the tailgate opening on its own randomly, more or less, because I got a ton of comments in that previous video. And, you know, some users said, hey, I've owned this truck for, 2, 3, 4 years. I've never had the tailgate open randomly. And then others said, yeah, I've had this happen several times. And so I wanted to talk a little bit more about that and also show you something that I never noticed before that was pointed out to me. Check this out. On the top of the tailgate here, there's actually 2 holes in the top. This is kind of like a handle that you can pull the tailgate, and there's these 2 holes that actually appear to allow water to drain here, and you can see that is right above the tailgate switch there. And I never noticed this before, but this seems like kind of an odd position for holes for water to drain when it's right above, you know, something electrical right here. I mean, obviously the engineers put these holes there for a reason. I never really paid attention to it prior to them being pointed out, but I wonder if there's a connection to these holes being in the top and the whole, you know, electronic switch malfunctioning with water intrusion and short circuiting. And then I also wonder if the half-ton trucks have these holes or if it's just the HD trucks. So definitely let me know in the comments below if you have a half-ton. Check and see, does your truck have these holes on top? Could this have something to do with this whole issue to begin with? And then I just wanted to revisit my personal experience as far as the tailgate, you know, opening randomly on its own. And in that last recall video that I published, I did describe one incident where I thought maybe the tailgate could have opened on its own. Certainly could have just been operator error as well. So I wanted to revisit that. Over the last 6 months, that is the only incident that I can recall where maybe the tailgate opened on its own. Again, probably more likely just operator error. But something I have noticed after owning the truck for about 6 months, and this probably applies to really any truck that has an electronic tailgate release, but that is when you go to shut your tailgate here. So I've just opened it up, the full tailgate. I'm gonna go ahead and shut it here, and you'll hear a click. You should hear a click on both sides. So I'm gonna go over here and push to make sure this one's shut, that one's shut, but let's go over here to the left side. All right, did you hear that? There was a click over here, meaning when I just shut it there, I shut it and I heard a click, but it was really just a click on the right side. It didn't click on the left side. And that's something that I've noticed, that you do need to firmly push on the tailgate and double check both sides that it is securely shut. I bring that up because I wonder if, again, not all the incidents that people have reported, but I do wonder if sometimes it could be operator error where, you know, I shouldn't speak for everyone, but just for myself, maybe if I'm shutting the tailgate and I haven't really shut it firmly all the way, that it's latched on one side, or maybe not neither side. It looks like it's shut, but it's not really latched fully on both sides, and then that's what causes the tailgate to open later on. Now hear me out, I'm not saying that in the majority or even the minority of cases when the tailgate opens on its own that it's operator error. You know, especially if you've experienced this firsthand, you know best from your experience what's going on. But I do bring it up because I have noticed that I have to push firmly on both sides to make sure that the tailgate is fully latched and shut. And you know, the fact that GM has issued a recall here tells me that they have probably been able to reproduce this in-house and reproduce the same symptoms that everyone has been talking about. And so that's why, of course, they've delivered this recall with the new parts. But I just bring up, you know, make sure that your tailgate is shut on both sides. Listen for that click. Well, guys, I hope this information is helpful. You know, this is definitely a fluid situation where as time goes on, more information will be available. So definitely comment below so we can all help each other out. And if you're watching this later on and you've actually taken your truck in to have the tailgate switch replaced, the new updated part, you know, fixed on your truck, definitely let us know in the comments below how that all went. I know I'm very curious to hear. So appreciate your comments, and as always, thanks for watching.